All right, well, good evening. I know it's really late, but I'm going to do this because I'm going to do it every day. Um, Today was really interesting. I slept in a little bit. Um, okay, sleep, not fantastic. I did throw up when Lana came in. I threw up like 3 times, and I might throw up again. Trying to eat, but it seems like it doesn't matter what I eat, something comes up sooner or later. Sometimes it's 2 hours later, whatever. Things are kind of rumble in there. But gonna cough. Man, yeah, I don't know. It's like sometimes I get is it vinegar? It's almost like a chemical coming out, and I don't know what it is. Sorry. Ah, but it was such a great day. I mean, the day didn't. I was pondering like, what do I start first? Do I work on the retirement stuff or my artwork stuff? This is like around 10:30. Oh, and then I started feeling pain, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay, I really want to. I really want to figure out a solution for my pain as needed. So I'm not taking it all the time, um, but just when I need it. Oh, on top of the fentanyl, which I have on all the time. And if it were for me, I would drop the fentanyl too. But anyways, oh, come on. I just want my air to settle, like a big burp to come out. Uh, anyways, so I texted my nurse and I said, "What is the best as needed painkiller?" And she said, "Morphine is usually the best if you can keep it down." But I couldn't keep it down. I threw up. So I said, "Well, I'm going to try it again." David comes in at the same time that the chaplain shows up, and I didn't know that the chaplain would show up today. He's gonna show up pretty randomly every week and a half, and I was like, oh great, because I definitely need someone to talk to. So he came and David fed me zero point 0.1 instead of 0.25 ml, zero point 0.1 ml of the morphine, and I immediately chased it down with applesauce, thinking, okay, I'll try to get it down and see. And it made me sleepy. And I was starting to fall asleep with the chaplain, and he could see that. And so he tumbled out of here after about an hour. But what a great guy, LDS guy who has lost 2 children and has a lot of empathy for this situation. Told some really sweet stories and just comforted me. And I was like, I'll take this any day, just somebody to come and tell me uplifting stories and be kind. And we I had just learned about A2 milk. Well, I knew that there was such a thing as non-pasteurized milk that was easier for the body to digest than A1 milk. But and I've actually purchased it before, but I never heard the term A2 until just the day before. And on Instagram, I learn all kinds of crazy things. And anyways, he's like, "Oh yeah, I used to own three A2 cows, and they sold for thousands of dollars because they're hard to come by, whereas my others were hundreds." And I was like, "Wow, that's cool." So he's like, "There's a dairy close to me that does non-pasteurized A2 milk. It's expensive, but I'll see if I can pick some up for you. And that was so sweet. Just a treat, to have dairy that can be really, really good for you if it doesn't have all the crap in it that humans put in. So, anyways, that was neat. And he also has a brother in town here. He lives in Preston and services this huge area. Drives a ton, like 3 counties and more. I don't know. But he has a brother who's an herbalist and a chiropractor in Afton. And so his brother swears by 2 herbs, yarrow, and so does he. He says he's never without yarrow tea um, for digestive aid, and also cayenne pepper. And so I'm probably gonna just, I mean, it can't hurt. So I'll do that. And then last night I ordered some of the Dr. Gundry guy has a new product out. I've done his red berry antioxidant type juices before, and they're good. They're tasty. They're just really expensive. So I was like, well, what the heck? I will splurge here and I will get some nice powder so that I can keep drinking water. And it has 4 ingredients that are really good for aiding digestion again. And then Lana is going to pick up the Yakult, the Japanese stuff, which seems to be better and less sugar intensive than the kefir. And if I do all of that, I'm just hoping that my biome is so awesome that I poop again in a healthy way. I'm pooping, but it's small amounts, and I'm throwing up probably 60% and digesting 40 or something like that. Guessing. That's a big guess. And water is hard, and I have to do juices. I can't do plain water. Yeah. So, anyways, and then the other random thing that happened. So it's just like click clock. Um, God was with me today. Right after he leaves, my nurse comes, and she helped me pull all the art supplies that I want to give to the girls for their birthday. Because this week it's the twin girls' birthday, Erica and Sarah, and Abby's birthday. And I have tons of art supplies, and they're going to end up with all of them anyway. But I pulled out the ones that I want them to like use consistently, and that I don't mind them just having. And so I put those into. She helped me, which I couldn't have done. I just guided her, and she helped me set everything aside. So that's cool. Now their presents are ready. Mm. And then right after she leaves, right before she leaves, she came. I called this gal Lanta that I've been meaning to call to see if she could do a leg massage, especially, and because my legs just hurt like the dickens today again, and my knees especially, and um, she thought I was gonna go to her house, and then she was like, "I'll just come to your house." So she comes to my house, but before she comes to my house, after the nurse leaves, and I'm kind of contemplating my next move, a sister in the ward randomly shows up. Her name is Cheryl Heiner, and her husband had passed away just recently, and she has a very interesting marital story. Very wise and faithful woman who did more than her share to support maybe a less than faithful dude, it sounds like. And so, and he was an eccentric as well. And anyway, so she starts to tell me his whole story and her whole story. And it's been 2 months since he's passed away. And she's been reading a book on hospice care. And on Sunday, just think of how the Lord orchestrates this. She overhears Lana saying that I started hospice this week. And then she says, I've wanted to volunteer at hospice after reading this book. And maybe at that point, this idea, I could just, I could go volunteer with Allison. She's here. So she shows up, And she brought 2 books to read to me, the hospice book, another really cool book, and a notepad. She said she would write things down if I wanted. And I just thought, wow, that is the sweetest thing ever. Because that's exactly the kind of support that I need, companionship and someone to write things down that I speak. And I was just like, wow, that's so cool. So then at precisely 5 o'clock, Lanza shows up, the massage therapist. And I didn't make it on the bike today, but it's okay because she worked me like a horse. And I got a crazy 2 hour massage. I've never had a 2 hour massage before. And she just worked me gently but solidly. And she got a lot of tension out everywhere in my body. And Cheryl decided to stay and hold my hand and just assist and pray. And these ladies just were like angels. I've never been ministered to like that for 2 hours straight. And then um, I'm just like so relaxed after she leaves around 7. I try eating, but again, I threw up half of it. Um, but what's so crazy is David comes in to say goodnight, and I ask him, "Can you change my pee bag?" Because they changed my pee bag when they left at 7. I was like, it's 11. Let's just do it. What the heck? Even though I don't have a lot of pee in there, let's just for the night. So he goes back there, and like the hole is healed up. There's no hole. It's not weeping urine anymore, which the urologist said might happen. But and I don't know if it'll hold or not. Like remains to be seen. But it's just like so. Then I just relaxed and sort of like slowly got up the energy to do this. Yeah, so strange day. It wasn't the day. It was just like one thing after the other. It kind of felt like the old days in the hospital when one thing after the next, and it was good for me, and it was the right thing that needed to happen today. And Lana's still out driving. I hope she's safe. Coming back from Logan shopping, and David got a ton done. He got the motorhome winterized and covered, and anyways, it was just a really good day. Everything kind of worked together for our good today. So I consider those miracle days. I just, when things like flow like that, it's because God and others who are praying for me are rooting for me. And David just like shook his head because he's like, I can't believe it's healing. And we joked because like I didn't realize how much pressure me not dying was putting on the family. That's the truth. Until recently. And it was like everyone was waiting for closure, and I almost died, you could say, around 4 times. Maybe that's a little dramatic, but yeah, I mean, pretty close calls, various moments, and I've rallied every time. But this time I thought, no, I'm not rallying. This is it. This is hospice time. And yet the hole closes. I mean, I'm glad if the hole closes permanently. That means I have one less thing to worry about as I do the work of death. But and my body hopefully does wind down. But it's just, again, it goes to show how interesting and fickle this whole situation is. One moment you think you're dying, and the next moment you're healing, and my legs feel better than ever. And so comfort care, that's what I'm doing. What the Spirit said. The Spirit said, let comfort be thy guide. I'm going to do that, and wherever it leads, it leads. My body's amazing. It's taken such good care of me. I don't even know like how it does it. It's a miracle body. um Okay, the last thing I'll say, looking forward to the resurrection is what my forward-looking thought is. In the resurrection, I think when my body is restored, I I think it will be miraculous for me because I will, number one, see the fulfillment of Jesus' promises, and number two, embrace him even more because of it. But the lack of pain and the increase in energy and all of that will be such a welcome thing in the flesh. I mean, it'll be great in the spirit as well. I will have so much rest in the spirit, but once I'm resurrected, it will be incredible. Um, the tip for today is really simple, and it's read. And, you know, I've lost the ability to concentrate. It's much easier for me to listen, and it has been for years, and I didn't really know why. And I think it's because your liver is connected to your eyes, and my eyes get tired reading. Um, I just can't sustain the concentration necessary to read. It's really weird. But I can listen, and yesterday I got some great suggestions from my siblings about books I can listen to. And I think I'll be doing more of that because it it's good for the brain, better than any kind of like doomsday scrolling that I could do on Facebook or Instagram. David calls it that. Um, but you have to, I just have to say, learning has been a hallmark of my life, learning new things. I mean, and this comes straight from my dad. I'm so proud of him. He's done so much in his life. I grew up watching him learn how to silkscreen, learn how to print, learn how to make kayaks just with the youth in the ward. I watched him just pick up things, shooting, you know, sailing, and also air can't talk, flying airplanes. Just my dad is a jack of all trades, so smart. Electricity, he absolutely adores his um, configuration bank, the way he's configured his solar bank for the cabin and an off-grid cabin and building the cabin and using kind of unique construction methods to build the cabin. He's just always trying new things and not afraid to fail. And he does fail and fixes it. And in the process, learns so much. And, um, anyways, I think all of us kids, and especially the boys, but all of us kids have benefited from watching him just jump right in and try new things. And so that attitude really is awesome for life. It's not just about books, it's about learning, it's about getting curious and trying new things. I mean, I just told you about some health related things, the ROT, I'm going to try it. Um, it's about digging in a little bit sometimes and researching things that are new and different and off the beaten track. And obviously, if I had my druthers and I stayed here um, for years to come, I would build a massive library because I believe that we should have hardbound copies of things. I know that you can get everything digital, but there's something really warm and cozy and wonderful about a hardbound edition of something. And Deborah's even better at this, bookmaker and book lover and bookbinder. She's just incredible. And so, I love it. I love my mom is an avid reader. She always has been. And she's such a good example, again, of reading for pleasure and for enjoyment and for learning. And I remember, I think it was more than one homeschooling year. But I can at least remember one where we put paper up on the beam in the basement and we read 100 books together as a family during homeschool time. And again, there's just nothing. It's priceless to have your mom read to you that much, and her imagination, everything. She's just such an amazing storyteller, and we benefited because it became the norm for some of us more than others. But my tip here is to, just like it says in Doctrine and Covenants, read out of the best books and organize them into a library because libraries are great. And 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 don't spend time in the muck because just like with movies, there's a lot of media muck in the book world too. Um, get the good stuff, the rich stuff, the stuff that grapples with ideas that have you thinking um, in models. I think for me specifically, that was important. And all the nonfiction books I read about productivity and how to be a good manager, how to be a leader. Um, I'm not nearly as well read or academic on those fronts as my dad, but I have enough that I've been able to utilize in my workplace that I've been effective in many ways in hard situations. Reading is the key to a broad mind and a rich mental sort of environment. And here's the thing: there was this really great article that got published years ago. When you're an adult, you basically have your mind is what keeps you engaged in life, and it's your mind that keeps you healthy. And because mom does her Duolingo Italian every day, she's a sharp cookie, and she's not lost one whit of her intelligence. She's smart, and because my dad reads the scriptures, and they both do, they've only deepened their testimonies and their ability to discuss the gospel. It's really quite miraculous. So read books. This is my read books, learn, and stay open. Obviously, I'm partial to homeschooling. I think for many reasons it's preferable to public school, depending on the family situation. Um, and even preferable to like Montessori, which is really built on beautiful principles. But um, yeah, allowing the child to ask a question, just like Joseph Smith did, and seek after an answer, get it, and mull it over, and all of that is just priceless. And I was very lucky to have that as a teenager and to tap into it. It's what allowed me to succeed in academia and have a rich life. All right, that's it for tonight. I love you. Good night.